When you realize that everything you want is in the power of your own hands, you start to move different. Let's get it, y'all. Let's make big things happen. Hey, everybody. Welcome to But I Did It. It's Lachey, and I'm here today with Stasha. We are going to be talking about breaking general curses, healing, just everything that goes into that personal growth. Stash, you want to say what's up to everybody?
Everybody, I'm Stasha, and I'm glad to be here. And I'm glad, you started your podcast. Let's go talking about generational curses and healing.
So Stasha had actually called me the other day. Well, she texted me and she was like, "You just been on my mind, and the spirit is telling me to just, kind of reach out and give you this message." And I'm like, "Man, that's crazy," because she was right on time. Like with her message, she was really literally on point. And so when we go into these healing stages and we allow ourselves to open up those spiritual channels within that healing, we allow the spirit to work for us as well. And so while I was sitting there kind of going through my own anxiety and everything I was feeling with starting this podcast, the spirit was working on my behalf and out there pulling resources for me. And so Stasha, when she sent her message, it was literally right on time. And so from there, we end up having a conversation, and I was just like, I got to bring you on. Like, you got to come on to the show so we can talk about this, because this is everything that I'm trying to get out there.
Right. And just to elaborate, when you said that, like, yeah, when you open yourself up and you actually you healing from your heart space, it's like a one connection. Some people call it the Holy Spirit, Kundalini. We're all connected. So God will give you a download, and it's just like, hold on, let me do this. And I literally was driving, and it came like once, two, three. I'm like, hold on, let me stop, let me park, let me text her right now.
So can I share the story? Because I haven't shared it yet. I've been
Yeah,
meaning
no,
to,
absolutely.
but I haven't done it yet. It's a experience we both had. So we was swimming one day at Ganesha Park, and we jumping in and out the pool, right? And we jump in a little too far, and we start drowning. Well, Stasha started drowning. I didn't know Stasha couldn't swim. And so I'm like, okay, we jumped in a little too far. Fine, get back to the edge. And then I feel Stasha struggling. But I think it was in a panic. We were both in this stage of like panic,
Drowning.
right? And I realized I couldn't help her. Like I couldn't help her, at least not in the pool. Like I was like, oh, I got to get out of here, or else we're both gonna drown. Because at that point, you were panicking and you was pulling me under too. And so
Two,
we was
yeah.
both drowning.
Both drowning.
Yeah, and so I did, I got out and I had left you there, but I went and got help. And that was my first thought, was like, I got to get help, because I'm not the help. Like, it's not me. And real quick, I want to touch on that, because sometimes we get into a place of like, you really want to help somebody. Like, I just want to help you so bad, or I want to be the person to help you. But sometimes you're not the helper. Like, God didn't send you, He sent you as a messenger. So go get the help.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure out who's able to help, and then let it go from there. And thankfully, we still here. We still living,
We
y'all. We
still
didn't drown
here.
in that pool.
We still here. And so if I was 8 that time, you was 7.
Yeah,
You're
well, it
younger
was
than me.
just summer, so we might
You
have both
probably was
been
about
8.
to turn 8, but not yet.
Okay, so I was probably like 7.
7.
Mm-hmm.
We had a near-death experience, and it was what was so surreal about it is how we're able to talk about it now. We were not able to talk about it then. Like, it was like no conversation. It's like,
Right.
oh, y'all just almost drowned, guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it
And
was
that
like
was it.
that was it. It was
Yeah.
nothing talked about, but it was so real and so scary in that water. Like, almost not knowing that she about to not make it out. And I remember at a point, um, after you got out the pool, I remember like going under and like letting go, and it's something like telling me like, no,
Keep
fight.
fighting.
And then I grabbed onto a white girl and she pushed me off of her. And then I seen y'all come and that was Monica. She jumped in before the lifeguard.
See? It's
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I remember grabbing a lifeguard. So I don't know where Monique, maybe if she overheard or like how she ended up, getting there first, but I remember like
Yeah, she
going and
jumped
looking for a
in.
lifeguard.
Yeah, the lifeguard looking ditzy, like, huh?
Yeah, and that's so funny because when I was thinking about this and I'm like going in my mind about it, and I was like, I'm surprised they even had lifeguards. Again, we at Ganesha Park. Like, I'm surprised they even
They
had
definitely had
lifeguards.
had a lifeguard. But I remember after that, I was cool on swimming. Like,
Yeah. So still, have you learned how to swim now? Or are you still just like, I'm good?
no, I do not know how to swim, and I do not play with the water.
Okay, and so this brings up, that other point that we were talking about as far as going through that traumatic experience, not being able to talk about it, and just having to kind of, really bottle that up and be like, okay, that was something that happened, move on. But carrying that for all these years, that fear of, damn, I'm almost died at 7, at 8. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so being now at this point, we in our 30s, you know what I'm saying? Like just being able to really address that fear of what took place.
Not only is it the fear, it touches on so many different subjects because it's like you feel kind of unprotected, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
nobody came fast in the water. I'm struggling. Nobody, even a girl like you, bigger than me, you could pick me up or something. You like get off me. Then it's like you don't trust yourself, right? Because we thought we was
Right.
invincible. Like we can hop in this water and hop back out and everything is okay. And it's like you lose a sense of a piece of you. Like you're not trusting you. You're not that confident no more. You almost died. So you're not
Yeah.
gonna just jump out there no more with that, not even thinking about it. And then also the unprotected and not validated. Like to talk about it like, hey parents, we almost died.
That part,
And
right?
y'all trying to make us go back to the park and go swimming again? No.
And that's part of like we were saying that culture, like it was so many things as kids that we experienced. We had to be honestly just exposed to. We was exposed to a lot of different shit, you know what I mean? But in the black, at least speaking for ourselves, our culture, it was things that wasn't talked about. And it's like it happened, move on, let's not ever bring it up again. But then what does
Mm-hmm.
that do for us, going through life as one? But then when we start to have our own children, now we're carrying this secret or this burden or this fear that we just continue to pass on because we never dealt with it. We never addressed it, right? And
Right.
so how do we get to the point to where we're breaking that and we not continuing to pass that on through our generations, you know?
Right. I'm learning to more so like speak about it because touch on that. I had told my mom about the story, right, and about doing a podcast with you, right, and she's like, "You almost drowned." She didn't even know, and I'm like, "Yeah, I did."
Yeah, right? And then make you, like you said again,
Don't you? And
yeah,
she like,
question
"No."
yourself because it's like, am I tripping or was that real? No, that was
For
real.
real. That's why I'm like, nah, I really did. That really happened. And she was shocked, like, I ain't never heard that. And I'm like, my dad never said nothing nobody said nothing to you. And I'm just like,
Right.
no. I'm like, oh, yeah. And that's how much we talk to like shut up. Like, don't talk about stuff like that or don't speak on it. Like it didn't happen. And it's like, no, it did happen. And how do you process it? So we don't have to internalize it.
That part. That part. And that's what I really want to be able to like teach to the generation coming up behind us. Like, it's okay to talk about it. It may be uncomfortable. It might be triggering, especially to other people, however, but it's okay. If it's gonna help you, then it's what's gonna help you. And so if we gotta
Mhm.
start talking about it, let's talk about it. That's crazy. Your mama didn't know.
She didn't know. I promise. She ain't never. And I'm like that. And it's on both ends though. It's stuff that happened here with her, where my dad didn't even
Mhm.
know. You know,
Mm,
and it's that your strain, what goes on in my household stays in my
phase and
household.
right.
And so it's like it's stuff you can't speak about.
And you just, yeah, you just learn to deal with it. Like you just learn. And it's crazy because, I mean, even though we're not speaking about it, it don't mean we're not thinking about it. Like it
Hmm.
still comes up. It still is something that replays in our heads and, in our minds. And it still gives that same feeling that it did right in that moment because we never dealt with it. So every time again, like I was telling you, your message was right on time because I was wanting to talk about that story. I was wanting to kind of use that as a point of sharing some of my experiences. And it was hard because every time I went to talk about it, I got stuck. Like I literally got stuck because of that fear was never dealt with. And so I had that same fear coming back every time I went to try to even talk about it. Again, like you said,
Right.
of just not trusting myself. So it wasn't a fear of like, oh, I'm about to drown in a physical sense, but mentally in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is overwhelming. This is something I
Hmm.
can't do. I'm not capable. Am I going to be out there? Am I putting myself too far out there? All those same feelings and emotions of drowning, even though I'm nowhere near a pool.
Right. And then also too, like being, and I this is speaking about our family when death is talked about so much, and we done seen it like at a young age. It's like we done been at this generation and we like, oh, hold on. Like you get scared, like I almost died. I want to talk about that. I don't want to speak
Yeah,
about death or speak about anything dark because I'm gonna speak it on me. Like I don't want so I get it. And I'm 36 now and I barely have to do inner work on that and call up that child and tell her like it's okay. You made it. This is
right.
where we at today, and I thank you for being brave. I thank you for not giving up in that water. I thank you for even when you felt like you want to give up, you shot out that water like, hey, I'm still here. And I am so proud of you. And that's how I have to talk to little Sasha.
And I love that though. I mean, and if we had been taught that in that moment, how helpful that would have been. Like what difference that
Hmm.
would have made if you're going through this year. But being able even now to do it is still a blessing. It's like, okay, I'm still here. I'm
Still
still
here.
at a point where I can still help myself. I'm not giving up. We 30 now, but it's still addressing that inner child of
When you switch the perception and you really talk about the reality and being present and you call up your inner child and you able to speak to that little girl in you, it's like it's a gratitude like, hey, thank you. Because you really went through the poverty because
right.
you was going through it and you made it. And I thank you because of what you went through got me where I'm at presently today, actively want
Right.
to heal, actively want to change the dynamic and do better. And so I have these three phrases I always say: poverty to prison to paradise. Right. And the reason why I say paradise is because we create our own heaven on earth. You ain't gotta die to get to heaven. You can create your
And that's so
paradise right
true.
now. And it took me through all the poverty, my inner child, through everything I'd been through from a kid
Mhm.
so I'm able to stand on my own. Then when I was able to stand on my own, I was in prison before mentally and spiritually before I even hit, you know, prison.
Right.
And it took that
Right.
whole transition of going through that and healing that to get to the space I'm at right now. And it's like I'm creating magic every day. Like I'm there, like working on my inner me, working on my spirit, actively healing. Things come up, but it's like I got the tools, I got the resources, and I'm trusting me, loving me again. So that part, it gives you like joy, paradise. I can look in the mirror and like just, I love you, girl.
Yes. Yes. And that's the first step. Like being able to free yourself mentally before you can actually get to being in your paradise or being free. Like you said, you were in prison before you actually were in prison because mentally your mind wasn't free.
At
And when I
all.
say that in a way of meaning there were certain thoughts that you weren't allowed to think. Things would come up or you would feel certain ways and it's like I'm not allowed to feel that. I'm not allowed to think that. That's imprisonment. You're limiting your mind. And when we learn to work past that and allow ourselves to think outside the box, to
Mhm.
believe that we can have anything and everything that we want. Like the world out here is for us. Like Lord said, he, asking you shall receive. If it's something that you is really put on your heart, then it's not too much to want for that. But when you are put in situations where you have learned to only think to certain limits, and then you slowly start to imprison yourself. And you think like for people that come up in, small towns, I use that for example, they never been out of that one area. Like, no, I never been outside of this county. And you don't know anything else. But you build this fear of I can't leave out of here because what if something happened? What if I get hurt? What if I get in trouble? What if I never come back? And now you're limiting yourself and you're putting yourself in again a mental prison.
Absolutely. And see, this is why I thank God for the dynamic I had with my parents, because one was outside of Fresno. Had my father never lived outside of Fresno, I probably would have never left Fresno. That's how bad it was because nobody around us were taking trips. Nobody was going out of town. So when I was able to get up and I'm going out here to visit my dad and I'm coming back telling stories, that was actually cool to everybody. Like, you went to LA? Oh, you did this, you did that. And then able to show the Disneyland pictures or just different stuff. Everybody like,
Right.
what? Y'all went to Six Flags? Yeah. And I remember even one time when me, you, and remember he took us on a truck, me, you,
Yeah.
Karan, and just doing stuff like that. We had a time, it was big. Like you went to it's people that I literally went to school with, never went to the beach. And we
Right.
were
And the
able
beach
to
is
do
what?
that.
An hour out, 2 hours away. For us, it's a crazy thought to not,
Mm.
explore. Like go see the
Go.
world. But for some people that's so scary. That's so scary because they've never been taught or have never learned to have a mindset that goes beyond what you can see. There's so
Hmm.
much more than what we see, but when we don't learn that, we don't know that, then we're stuck with only, believing that what we're surrounded with is what we're capable of.
Of absolutely. And that's placing them limitations. And that's why it's so important to have them. I had to write this down too for myself. It's an exercise where you just write down everything that you feel is blocking you, right? Like write your blocks down and ask yourself, how can you, transmute that?
Hmm.
Like if this is blocking you and you saying this is blocking you, you still got breath in your body, you can change that narrative. What are you willing to do to change it? And
Right.
I remember that was like a heavy one because you want to operate with no limitations. You're not a limited being, you're limitless. So we gotta break them chains, and it starts with your foundation. Like I promise you, if I didn't know y'all my side, this side, I wouldn't travel. And I see that now
Mm.
with, some of my siblings, they don't travel like that, because all
Yeah.
their family is based here. And so it's like, I'm the one that get up and they think I'm cuckoo crazy. Like, how you just jump up and you moved out of town by yourself? Uh, I don't know. I just did. And to me, it's
Right.
normal, you know? And, and I go places by myself. They be like, how did you just get on the plane? It's normal. And I'm glad that I got that part
Right.
moving around with my family on that side. To me, it was normal. And I,
And you able to teach that to your kids, so they
mm-hmm,
don't have those limitations coming up as well. It's like, no, this is normal. It's normal to
mm-hmm.
be able to move around. It's normal to visit. It's normal to travel. And even if you have to do it by yourself, like this is normal. But I
This is
said again,
normal.
breaking those generational curses and not passing that
Curses.
along to the generation coming behind us.
And everybody think poverty is just money. It's not. Poverty is your mindset. If you
Right.
think poorly and limit your beliefs and limit yourself and your thinking, you're living in poverty. And as a kid growing up, I know I was very much limited, right? Because like you said, we were taught that we can't think this. That ain't right. That's a
Mhm.
fairy tale. That's a dream. It'll never happen,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You
Uh,
think your life is a movie, and it's like stuff like this happen out of movies.
it's
It
right.
happens in the real world. Like it's not just a movie.
It's not. And I was one of those that I used to watch all the movies and be daydreaming like, yeah, I'm gonna get that one day.
Right?
And then I call as a kid, we all it's sad, but I call it the dream killer spirit. And the reason why it comes around is because their dreams were killed, right? So they're just teaching you what was taught to them. And it's the real entity. I call it the dream killer. It attacks you as a kid and it wants to kill all them things you imagining about, all them limitless beliefs to
Mhm.
limit you into thinking this one way, right? And it's like now, like the space I got and I just create for my kids, shoot for the stars, go for the moon, however,
Yes.
whatever you believe.
Yes.
If my son come in here and tell me he a ninja today, okay. you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you got you over there doing your martial arts or pretending. Go martial art on. I don't know, but I'm not going to sit up here and tell you, no, you can't. No, nah, that ain't true. I let them be
Yeah.
imaginative. Like, imagine.
And
That's where it
that's the
starts.
part of it, that child like imagination that we give up on as we get older. And like you said, whether it's somebody telling us that, or whether it's society itself, or whether it's just our surroundings of what we seeing and what we, being brought up in. But
Mm-hmm.
keeping that imagination is so important. Like I don't never stop imagining. Like you said, sit and watching movies. Like I still will put me on a Disney movie and go all the way into it to like, oh, that's just so nice to think about. Because why not? Like, why
Why
not
not
still have that imagination of how good life can get? Because I'm
get
35. Like, life ain't over for me. It's just
right?
starting. And so I still want to think about reaching the highest peak for myself and for my children. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's hard trying to communicate that to other people who don't have those same beliefs. And so being careful and mindful of, like you said, the dream killers, because even as adults, we still run into them. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's still people that want to tell you, no, that ain't gonna never happen. No, don't think that big. Don't go for that. But who's to tell you what is for you when you really get into alignment and you start to pray and you start to follow your journey, the right doors are going to open for you. And so you don't have to worry or stress about what can't happen. You just got to keep that belief that whatever is for you is going to come.
It's gonna come. And that's what you just said. Your belief is so powerful. That's what manifests anything that you want in your reality, like your belief system. Like, what are you believing about yourself? What are you believing about what you imagining? Are you willing to take action? Like, it's what you believe that matters. What you believe about yourself, what you believe that you could turn your reality into. It's your belief system. And that's what I had to learn to like change. And I just wanted to touch back on that imaginative state, having that childlike energy. Like, I really had to go back there and channel that because my belief system had got so like, how you say, nah,
Right.
this is so serious. I mean, like militant serious. And I had to check myself because I went to fasting, getting up 5 a.m., make your bed. Like, I just went military, okay? And it's like, no, you do not have to force things. Like,
That
spirit
part,
really
right.
moves and doors will open. When something is for you, it's really for you, right? And you don't have to
Mhm.
really, you just gotta tap in and surrender and be in flow. And you will know when
Yeah.
to take action. Like, you don't have to force it. And I remember I'm telling you, I went down a whole rabbit hole where I'm up 3 a.m. Pray, fast, make your bed, get the kids up.
And you know what? I'm laughing because I can relate because I've been there and I've been, like you said, like, okay, I really want this. And then I got to really tap in. I got to make sure I hit this routine. But then what happens is you get burnt out,
You get
like
burnt
you get
out.
so burnt out. And it's like, man, okay, it was feeling good in the beginning and I was so on point and things was moving, but now I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? The energy ain't the
Right.
same. Then after your energy starts to shift, your mindset starts to shift, your belief starts to shift along with it, and then that's when your actions start to shift. You know what I mean? And so it's
Mm-hmm.
a domino effect. And so finding that balance is really important. I'm always like,
It's
life is a balance. Like you got to be able to find that balance. And then
that
to be able
balance.
to do that, like you said, is really surrendering yourself. Like you will have moments where you're going to have to be, like I said, gung ho, like I'm stuck on this. This is what I'm doing. This is my routine. But you also have to have those moments of like, okay, this is my time to step back and relax. This is my time to
Mm-hmm.
step back and evaluate. And so it's being open to your journey. And a part of that is that surrendering.
Surrendering. And a lot of times, and that's why I have to do the inner child work. And that's what came up about the drowning.
Hmm.
A lot of times we don't surrender because of fear of the unknown, right? And then also because of how we were taught to praise God, how we're taught
Mm,
to be connected to God, and this is what you're supposed to do, and this is this and that.
yeah.
And I had to literally go back to, I think one of my I say the most sanctified person I know. I could tell you she ain't never cussed. That was my mom's mom. I never see my grandma cuss, no nothing. And I had to just go back to that energy, like, was she happy?
Right. And
Was
that's a
she
big part of it.
joyful?
Right.
And I go back to them days and I'm like, she never she never forced the Bible on us or told me how to pray or how to do this. She's always
Mm-hmm.
told me you will feel it, in your spirit. You'll feel the connection. Like God is a feeling. The Holy Spirit
Yes.
is a comforter. You feel
Yes.
it, and you
Exactly. And
would
that's what
know
he
because
says
it.
to you, I leave with you a comforter. And so that there should tell you it's physical. It's something that's actually being given to you. And so
Uh-huh.
you feel it and it resides. We have talked about this inside of you. That spirit that you're looking for, that comfort is already within you.
And I had to go back to that, and I remember, quit going outside yourself for things that's already in you. So it's time to
Mm-hmm.
go in. It's in here. It's time to go in. It's time to do
To
the
that inner
work.
child.
That inner child. Yeah, doing that work, it brought me back to. You remember that movie Pocahontas?
Yeah, I remember Pocahontas.
We done watched it about like 4 times.
Okay, I was the other day I was stuck on like I'm like I need me a Disney movie right now. And so my go-to princess is Belle, you know? And so I love me some Beauty and the Beast. Like I'm whenever I need that little like princess kick, I go to
Hmm.
Belle. And so for you, you saying it's Pocahontas.
Yeah, we done watched it like 4 times. Pocahontas. Fell in love.
And so tell me like why? Like what makes Pocahontas your
I
what
think how
connection?
she was just like so connected with Mother Nature and the spirit, and then her family was so gun ho on this is how you supposed to act, this is how you supposed to do this, limited beliefs, and she was limitless. Like, I'ma just go where the wind take me. I'm free. And I think that I don't know, I just love that.
No, I think that's tight. But like you said, just like we have certain triggers, that set us off in that downward spiral. We have certain triggers that uplift us too, and that'll shoot us up.
Mhm.
And so being able to remember that and keep that, like you said, that childhood imagination and stuff. And sometimes we have to go back in and tap into those things. And so it's important. Like you're never too old, at least in my belief, to go sit down and watch a cartoon. You're never too
No.
old to play with blocks. You're never too old to go outside barefoot. Like these are things that you should never outgrow. Like you should still be able to do those childhood things, especially when you got kids, because you can't tell them to, oh, go out there and be in the dirt, and then you act like, I don't touch no dirt, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, how are you teaching them to be free, you know? And so
Right.
it's like we can't let go of those certain things. So yeah, I like that you just said that, because I sure was on my Disney kick the other day too. Like,
Them my movies, Pocahontas, Mulan. I think all the ones where the women
oh,
strong and
Mulan,
rebellious.
yes, yes, Mulan, yes, Mulan is definitely, that's my second go to. Yeah.
Mulan, I love that. Yeah, and Belle, I love Beauty and the Beast too. I just be getting so mad because I'll be like, I'm gonna get my beast.
And that's what it is for me. I'm like, yes, I like that you still able to do that, and especially like you said with the kids, like be able to kind of show them, like I ain't too old to sit down and watch a good cartoon with y'all and bring back those good memories and think what the world could bring or what could be. That's beautiful. We kind of got off topic a little bit with that Disney,
Yeah, we did.
but it was good. It was
It
needed.
was good. It was real good.
But just in healing and trying to, as an adult, here we are, like we said, we both, here in our 30s, and finally being at a place where we are facing a lot of the demons that we either, like you said, weren't allowed to talk about, or we just chose not to talk about, you know what I mean? And what that's doing for us now, like you already said, in the spiritual part of it, we able to talk to each other without even talking to each other, because our spirits are communicating. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's so important for anybody on that growing journey to be in connection with your spirit so you can hear back from it. So, because if I had been closed off, if I wasn't open to hearing from my spirit, then I would never been able to hear back from you. Even if, you know what I'm saying, with the message coming through, disregard it. Okay, Stasha, you know what I mean? But being in connection and being open to the spirit and being in this healing journey, I was able to receive, your message, being in connection with your spirit and allowing yourself to receive those messages.
Divine timing, like everybody, like everything we do when we put in work is not just effective for us, it's effective to everyone you're connected to. It changes something literally in our DNA. So every time you heal, you transmuting something in your DNA, right? Which is affecting your bloodline, which is helping even the people that you think not healing around you. Like we forget that we're all connected. Like we think, oh, we're just separate and we're alone. No, truth is we're all connected. We're all connected. And like you said, you way in Texas. I'm literally driving and the download came twice. And we're both thinking that that's not no coincidence. We're both thinking about this death experience. That's spirit.
Right.
And it's divine timing, not on our time. And I'm learning just to like flow with it and put in the work and be courageous, like how we jumped in that pool and knew we was coming out, but unfortunately, I'm trying to get back to that, having that courage and letting go of fear and my blockage, and knowing that some days it don't feel good. Some days
Right.
shadow shows up. You know, that dark aspect of yourself shows up, and some days you want to be left alone. Some days you want to scream, fight, all of that. And I'm
Yeah.
learning
Yeah.
to embrace that side of me too and let it express itself, you know? And
And you
just
had
take
said
it day by
something.
day, moment by moment, be present and know that it's not for nothing.
Right. You had said something when you had earlier, you were saying that every emotion does not need a reaction. And so I know you were saying there's a few like different books and stuff you were reading, but I really want to talk more about that, because that's something I'm still learning. Like
Uh-huh.
my emotions is up and down right now as I'm going through all these different changes, but I'm not at a place yet where I can be like calm. And so
Uh-huh.
I'm working on that. I'm trying to find that balance, but it's hard.
What worked for me, and honestly, it is meditation. Meditation is just like prayer. I learned how to, breathe. It's okay to have the emotions. It's just your reaction. Like
Hmm.
how you gonna react to it. Sometimes you have to sit in that emotion Just let it run through your body. Let the anger flow through you. And then the longer you sit, your mind changes because it's like
Right.
if you just want to react out of anger, you know you did something you didn't know you did it. And
Mhm.
I have done this before. I'm gonna tell you a true story. And and the girl ever see this, I sincerely apologize. She came in my cell and I was mad. Like I don't know what I was already having a bad day about what I'm internalizing and fighting.
Mhm.
And I got so mad. Lachey, I already had the oranges in the sock ready just for anybody. Girl, I done already done went upside her head so fast. And I'm just like, dang, she about to tell on me. You know, not I'm sorry, but like, oh my God. But I let my anger and my emotions, my irritation get the best of me. She wouldn't even bother me. She was literally just coming in to ask me something, but she walked in my cell and I don't know, just lost
And
it.
just that quick, your emotions was like,
Yeah, and I knew
yeah.
then, like, yeah, I need to do something about these emotions because it's not right. She didn't deserve that. What are you doing?
And that's what it's like a lot when you're not able to control those emotions, and then unfortunately it's the innocent bystanders. So somebody walk by, like I said, or she just into yourself. But for me, I get angry, I get the going off on people, and then I have to come back and apologize. Like, I'm so sorry, I just cussed you out for no reason, but I'm just like trying to control those emotions, and not even like you said, not control them, because you got to feel them, right? It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm feeling. Let me just go ahead and feel it, but not being able to feel it and express it. Learning how to
Mm-hmm.
express it in a healthy way,
In
you
a
know?
healthy way. So you want to express it, but not in the first. Because like when you feel something, like you feel anger, sometimes, like okay, I'm gonna give you an example, like with the kids, because you got kids too. You'll get mad. Hey, you ever just snatch your baby up real quick? Like, oh shoot, I'm tripping. Like wait a minute, wait a minute. It ain't even that serious. Play with your. Oh my god, like, and I done
Right?
done,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
then
still
that's
like,
that's
what
what
did
I
I do that for?
yeah. And again, the innocent buyers, they just like, okay, but you know what? When we go back to again that learned behavior, how many
Behavior.
times have it been like, "Hey, mom," and it's like, "Girl, hush," and it's like, I was gonna say good
Mhm.
morning, but you know what I mean?
Or like that, it been like, hey, something, mom, and you done got snatched up. Like, dang, what I do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
But
ask
we
her no
not
more.
realizing, as a kid, you don't understand. You just like,
Hmm.
okay, mama having a bad day. But we don't know mama is carrying, all of this internal stuff that she been dealing with. And we just had the wrong timing. You know what I
The
mean?
wrong time, man. And that's what I had to learn too. Like with my mom, she was a young mom. She's carrying a lot. She's trying to balance a household. She's trying to take care of, 4 kids and doing it basically by herself. It's like all of that and still not having time to pour into you, you'll be
Mm-hmm.
frustrated.
Yeah. And I think again, like we talking about that generations, especially for black women, of having to carry the household for years. And so getting to the point to where we're finally at a stage where even though we are the backbone and we do carry the household, we still human. We still have
Mm-hmm.
our own individuality, and it's okay to be your own person and still be a mom and still be a wife and still, take care of the household. And it's not a bad thing. And so I think society, in my opinion, has really put out there that as far as women, you're supposed to be in this, this box. You're a woman, you fit here and you stay there. And so now, today's age, like we see a lot, thankfully, that women are stepping out of that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm still a mama, but I still go to the gym and lift weights just like a man. And
Mm-hmm.
no, it don't make me less feminine than who I am. Like, I'm still a woman. But if this is something that helps me relax, if this is something that gives me peace, then this is something I can still do. It is crazy, like when I think about how we say for one, our mom, but if we go even a little further back to like granny, you know what I mean? How granny was raised to how we coming up today. Granny be looking at us like, y'all ain't got no whole training. I'm just like, okay. But it's just that mindset of women were not allowed to do what we do today,
Do
and I'm
now.
like, oh, thank God we can now, because I
Like
don't
how
know if I would have
granny
made
get
it.
frustrated when the kids are running around, and it's like,
Right.
granny, they're kids,
Because we weren't. As kids, we had to come and sit down. Remember, we used to come to Granny house, and she had that TV that opened, and then that VCR that looked like a car. You would put your, and
put
we
it
had to sit.
in.
We sat there and watched movies all day.
Yep. And
That.
gotta be quiet and
Mm-hmm.
ain't no playing. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. But what does that do to you as a child?
it
Because
takes away your childlike energy. You're not even able to get it out or run around. Like when you get with your cousins, the first thing you want to do is play. Like, I
exactly
ain't seen
right.
you want to play. Oh, we gotta sit here and like whispering
Uh-huh.
and so I get it. So now, like when my kid, I let them run around.
Yeah.
Get it, be a kid.
Kid. Be a kid. And it's like I want for them to keep that for as long as I can. And of course, you getting that balance of like, for my old Debbie, I'm like, okay, you getting older, you know what I mean? So you do
Uh,
need to, know certain things and be able to pick up after yourself and just know those normal life habits.
habits, right?
Yeah, I get that part of having balance, but still, I don't take away from her being a child. She want to play over there doing blocks or they playing make believe. I don't. That's fine. That's
Uh-huh.
your way of playing. Like, do what's gonna make you happy. So, I think that especially like for myself as I started to get older, like, because I came around to that girly stage really late. Like, I was so with the boys all the time, right? And playing men's or whatever with them. And so by the time I got into Barbies and baby dolls, I was like 13. And everybody was looking at me like, why are you still playing with Barbies and baby dolls? And I'm like, well, this is new for me. Like, I ain't never played with Barbies before, like I remember I came to your house and I was so excited, Sasha. I was like, you have a McDonald's Barbie and you had like the restaurant and everything. And you must have looked at me so crazy and you was like, if you want to play with that, you can play with it by yourself. And I was just like, okay. But I was so, you know what I mean? Like that was new for me. But I remember being to that point of like, you need to stop playing with this. You need to, stop doing kid things. And again, those dream killers, because it was something
Uh-huh.
that was done to them. And that rush on like growing up, like you need to
Uh-huh.
hurry up and become of age. Looking back, I just want to tell everybody that ever told me that. I'm just playing. I love y'all. But still, like, why? Why did you rush me to become an adult? What is this? Like, what was I rushing for? You know what I mean? What was the rush?
And I think it's more so because they were, my opinion, with my mom, she was younger herself, so it's like she's carrying all this responsibility by herself. If you get older, you can carry some of this weight, you know. So
True that.
and I used to watch her as as a kid, and that's my mom. I want to help her. Like, what can I do to help?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember at a young age, like I get in there and I wash dishes, I do this, I do do
Right.
whatever. I remember even when she had got sick. I was 17. Let me get outside and go get some money, help her pay these bills,
Yeah. Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like, and it was so scary for me because I already lost a parent. So when she got sick
Yeah.
like that, I'm like, anything innocent about me, I think when my dad passed, like life got serious. Like, hold up,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
real. And then right the following, I don't even think it was a full year, she got sick. So it was just like I was a
Mm-hmm.
different person,
You
like
went
a
from being
total
a
different person.
child that quick, like that it just stopped for you. And then
Mhm.
having to make that change, that's drastic. You didn't even get to fully, like you said, process your grief for, your dad, and then to turn around and be like, okay, well now I gotta step it up to make sure we're not falling behind over here in this household. I got to become a,
Mhm.
that second parent in this household.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
that's where I had to learn too. Like I guess you get that first rush or high, like when you get some money, you're able to help, and you think, oh, it changed your situation
Mm,
because the bills are paid or this is paid, and it really doesn't. It just unlocks what's already inside you, right? And for years, I just went on like, okay, money has solved this, money has solved this. This is why everybody's stressing because the money.
right. Right.
And as a kid, 16, 17, the set I really was, yeah, I was outside. And so when prison came, it's like duh, where you thought she was going.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you don't, I mean, like you said, in the moment, it's like, shoot, I'm getting money. Like, where I think I'm going to the top. Like, hold up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm about to be living it, y'all. But nah, because money, for one, don't solve everything. And if you're not doing something in the right manner, karma is real. Karma is
Mhm.
real. And it will. It will get you every time. And so you
Every
think that
time
you
justice will be
escaping.
served.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I had to learn that the hard way, and I had to really shift my perception about money. Like money is energy too. It's a tool, like it's
Exactly.
illusion. If you had a $20 bill in your hand right now, you ripped it up, it's nothing. It's man made. So
Right.
it's like when you walking in alignment and you doing the work you're supposed to do, it just flows to you.
Exactly. Everything that you need. Everybody have their separate beliefs. And for me, I get into my Bible and I'm still learning and growing in my spirituality. But mine is, that scripture, my go-to scripture, or one of my go-to scriptures is, if he takes care of the birds and bees, why not you? If he's able to care for the birds and provide all of their needs, then why not you? When you are literally a reflection and a piece of who he is. And again, knowing and being aware that the I am resides in you. And so I
Uh,
say that because, as we talk about money and, wanting and having that mindset of like, I got to get it. I got to get it. I got to get more money. I got to earn money. I got to, keep this income. When we really break it down to the basics and know that all of our needs will be met when we surrender and we give it to him, then you're able to let go of that money being your power. Because what it
Power.
does, it just becomes a power over you. And yeah, we was both there in that time frame of chasing what we thought was gonna be the end to all me. Like, this is gonna do, once I
Yeah.
get this, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. And like you said, it becomes a high. You're continuously chasing, like, okay, well, I need more. Well, I got to this point, but I need more. And now I'm here,
More
but I need more. And it becomes an addiction. And
addiction.
so, like you said, you had to we both had to go sit down for a minute and get our minds right.
And that's all I said. I think when I
Mhm.
first sat down, it changed my perception of how I view money. Like, wait a minute, this is not it, you know? Because, like you said, you come across so much, and it's just like, what did you do with it? How did it grow?
That part. That
And
part.
it's like, it didn't. It didn't. So that tells you that it's not what you think it is. And then when I learned that to operate and see it as beneath me and as just energy, a means to keep I guess your household running and gas and just your daily
Right.
needs.
Yeah.
It just opportunities open up, and the means is met. So I don't even focus my energy there no more. I just focus on healing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I that's really what this podcast for me is about, to be able to push that healing and self-growth for, anybody out there that is in that stage of seeking. That's on that journey of like, I'm tired of chasing the material. I'm tired of looking and trying to fill this void that for whatever reason is not being filled, because you can't go after something that is, again, non-existent. Money, non-existent. If you think about it,
Right.
it's just a power of exchange. You know what I mean? It's just,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. It's a tool for exchangement. And that's when we realize that and we're able to keep that mindset, we become in control. And once
Mm-hmm.
you're able to control that thought and know, then you're able to really receive, again, what's for you. Then in
What's for
that
you?
alignment, okay, I want this, or I want that. Let it come to you. Don't go out there chasing something that's already yours. He said
Mm-hmm.
everything we want already belong to us.
Right. And then just to circle back, that's like going back to your inner child, right? We didn't worry about money. Remember them
Right.
nights where Christmas came and you prayed or, ooh, I'm gonna get, and it shows up, right? So in your head, you don't know what your mama or your parent had to do. You just know, ooh, I got it, you know?
And you know what? And I'll say that so Debbie was just out on spring break like 2 weeks ago. Girl, thank God she went back to it. But she was out of spring break and she had all these plans, girl, of like we was gonna go have sushi, we was gonna do a brunch date. She wanted to go shopping and just all these thoughts. And
Stop
I'm just looking at
playing.
her like, girl, I don't got a job right now. Right. And so I had went to, I had told her that, but then I had to catch myself. Because again, limiting that mindset and putting those
Mm-hmm.
boundaries on somebody. And so I said, whatever we supposed to do this weekend or this week, we'll do. We're gonna make sure we have a good weekend and within our means, you know what I mean, of what's
Mm-hmm.
for us. And sure enough, girl, we went to a sushi date, we done did brunch, we done went to the mall, we had a full week. It came
Mm-hmm.
it was the means provided itself.
That's right.
And I feel like looking back on that, and I had to tell her, I said, I'm so glad you had such a belief and faith that these things was going to happen because
I
of
bet.
her faith. And I was like, two or more in agreement. Okay, Lord, that's what she want to do. I'm gonna just go ahead and agree with her. And sure
Right.
enough, we had us a good little week.
Weak. That's right. And that's what it stems from, like having that innocence about money, about life, and not allowing it to be attacked by what I call, it's a child killer energy. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's serious now, what you gonna do? Like, no, just want to go back to playing, what are you talking about? Yeah, and I remember them days. Like I remember just wanting certain toys, and I got them. Didn't know how I got them. I just thought I done prayed
Exactly.
for it. It came. Thank you to whoever, my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't think about money. You didn't think about real stuff like that. It wasn't like your stress or your burden, and that's the type of energy you gotta have. And when it cut, like everything else, it just flows like surrender.
Yes. This has been good. Thank you, Stasha, for coming
You're
on
welcome.
today. If you want to give everybody your social media where they can find you at, let them know.
Instagram is at Stasha Star, and TikTok the same as Stasha Star, and I'm on both them platforms and Facebook. Thank you. Telling you thank you, gratitude, appreciate you for having me on.
Yes, thank you for coming on and sharing, talking through that experience with me because I probably would have never worked through sharing that. So thank you.
Welcome.
But this has been good, everybody. But I did it. Y'all, I'm gonna put a poll up too. I wanna see who else out there favorite Disney princesses. Let's see. Who else out there
All
is keeping
right.
that imagination alive. All right, bye y'all.